Why supercars are crazier than NASCAR and GT3. Forget what you think you know about car racing. Seriously, you watch NASCAR's fender-banging chaos and think, now that's aggressive. You see the sleek, high-tech world of GT3 with cars that look glued to the track and you figure that's the peak of precision. But you're looking in the wrong place. Way down under, there's a racing series that takes the modern motorsport rulebook, rips out half the pages and hands the rest to the driver. It's a series where 650 horsepower monsters with roaring V8s and not enough grip wage war on the tracks that would make other race cars tremble. Today, we look to prove why Australia's supercars are crazier, tougher, and flat out more exciting than NASCAR and GT3. We'll break down the tech, the tracks, and the wild talent it takes to tame these absolute beasts. The Contenders, a tale of three philosophies. To understand what makes supercars so insane, you first have to understand what they aren't. Let's meet the Contenders. First up, NASCAR. It's the king of brute force, a spectacle built for high-banked ovals. The philosophy is beautifully simple. Big power, heavy cars, and the fine art of drafting. The modern next-gen car is a technical step forward, but its soul is still pack racing, where bump drafting and side-by-side duels at nearly 200 miles an hour are the name of the game. It's a high-speed chess match, but it's played on a relatively predictable board. Then, you got the world of GT3. This is the global blueprint for sports car racing, featuring icons like Porsche, Ferrari, and Lamborghini. These cars are technical marvels defined by one thing above all else: aerodynamics. With massive wings and complex bodywork, they generate enormous downforce, planting them firmly on the pavement for mind-bending cornering speeds. But that incredible stability comes at a cost, because sometimes the drama gets engineered out. The cars are so capable, so planted, that the racing can feel a little too perfect. And that brings us to the Australian Supercar. It lives in the glorious, chaotic middle ground. It's a silhouette racer, meaning it only looks like a Ford Mustang or a Chevrolet Camaro, but underneath, it's a purpose-built weapon.
Thank you guys, cheers.
But with one radical philosophy. It marries the V8 power of a stock car with the demands of a road course, but then it deliberately throws away the modern aids that make cars easy to drive. The goal isn't perfect sterile efficiency, it's pure driver challenge and entertainment. The tech, raw power versus refined aero. This is where the argument gets really fun.
Yeah, boy.
Because the madness of a supercar is baked right into its design. So let's start with the heart, the engine. All three categories use V8s. But the supercar approach is one of brutal simplicity. The current Gen 3 rules call for a 5.7 litre naturally aspirated V8 pumping out about 650 horsepower. It's pure old school muscle. But here's the twist. A strict parity program ensures every single engine produces an identical power and torque curve. There's no hiding behind a better motor. It's all on the driver. The real separator though is aerodynamics. A GT3 car is a downforce generating machine designed to be sucked to the road. A NASCAR also relies heavily on underbody aerodynamics to stay planted. A supercar? It's deliberately been engineered to be a handful. The Gen 3 regulations were created to slash aerodynamic grip, with a targeted reduction of over 60% compared to the previous generation of cars. Here's a side-by-side comparison of a Ford Mustang in all three formats: a GT3 car, a NASCAR, and a supercar. You see what I'm talking about? Whoa! They have a big rear wing, sure, but the overall lack of downforce means the car is constantly moving, always on the knife's edge. This was done specifically to reduce the dirty air that makes it hard for cars to follow each other, promoting incredible wheel-to-wheel racing. It's less like being glued to the track and more like wrestling a bear on a frozen lake. Okay. And then there's the tires. A GT3 car uses wide, slick tires for maximum grip. A 650 horsepower supercar channels all its power through a rear tire that is significantly narrower. Drivers have to be incredibly precise with the throttle, because the car is trying to light up its tires even in third gear. To make it even harder, there's no traction control and no ABS to help with the braking. This constant battle for traction is something drivers cushioned by electric aids in other series just don't have to manage. Finally, the chassis is built for combat. The suspension is designed to be attacked. Drivers have to slam their car over massive curbs to find the fastest line, a move that would unsettle or even break a stiffer GT3 or NASCAR. For example, NASCAR driver Austin Cindric even said that if he hit the curbs in his cup car the way supercar drivers do, he'd end up in the medical tent. The battlegrounds, where chaos is created. So if the cars are engineered for chaos, the tracks are where it's unleashed. NASCAR's calendar is dominated by ovals, from a half-mile bull rings to giant super speedways. They're unique and demanding, but the environment is largely consistent. GT3 series race at pristine FIA Grade 1 circuits, wide, modern tracks with huge runoff areas designed for safety. The Supercars Championship, however, is a tour of absolute monsters. They race on a brutal mix of flowing road courses and, most importantly, punishing street circuit walled with concrete, where the margin for error is zero. Think Adelaide and Gold Coast. And then there's the crown jewel, Mount Panorama Bathurst. This track, without exaggeration, is one of the most terrifying and respected pieces of tarmac on the planet. It's a mountain. The cars climb a radically steep incline, navigate through a series of blind, tight corners with walls on either side known as the Dipper, and then plunge down the Conrod Straight, where the Gen 3 supercars have officially been clocked at over 300 km per hour or 186 miles per hour, the NASCAR would be lost in the tight twisting mountain section. Bathurst is the ultimate test of a driver's bravery, and it's tailor-made for the sliding, curb-hopping nature of a supercar. So we've got untamed cars and brittle tracks. It's a potent combination, but it's the human element that truly completes the trifecta of craziness. If you're enjoying this deep dive into what makes supercars so wild, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more motorsport analysis just like this. The talent, manhandling the machine. The car's design and the track's ferocity demand a very specific kind of driver. You don't just drive a supercar, you manhandle it. The mix of high power, low grip, and no electronic aids means the drivers are in constant physical fight with the wheel. Watch any onboard footage. The drivers' hands are never still. They are making constant tiny corrections, catching slides before they even begin. With no ABS, braking is an art form. Drivers apply immense pressure without locking the wheels, all while heel and toe downshifting a sequential gearbox to keep the car balanced. It's a physically and mentally exhausting style of driving that has been largely lost in more modern, aero-focused categories. The ultimate proof? Crossover success. When three-time Supercar champion Shane Van Gisbergen decided to try NASCAR, many expected a steep learning curve. Instead, he won his very first NASCAR Cup Series race in 2023. Since then, he's won multiple times on road courses and shown dramatic improvements on ovals. Fellow supercar drivers like Cam Waters and Will Brown have also jumped into NASCAR and have been competitive right away. Their transition is so seamless because a supercar is arguably a harder car to drive. As Cam Waters noted, the NASCAR next-gen car feels similar, just a bit heavier, but with comparable systems. When a driver trained to handle a low-grip, high-power monster gets into a car with more forgiving characteristics, they often thrive. The skills forged in the fire of Australian supercars are universally lethal. Conclusion? So why are supercars crazier than NASCAR and GT3? It's not just one thing, it's the whole savage recipe. It's the raw tech of 650 horsepower V8 in a car with deliberately slashed downforce and no electronic safety nets. It's the unforgiving nature of the tracks like Bathurst that demand nothing less than total commitment. It's the raw talent required from drivers to have to wrestle, not just pilot, their cars for hours. NASCAR delivers an incredible pack racing spectacle. GT3 showcases the pinnacle of aerodynamic precision, but if you want raw power, aggressive driving, and unfiltered chaotic racing where the driver is still the ultimate X factor, you have to look down under. Australian Supercars aren't just a different flavor of motorsport, they're a wilder, tougher, and more thrilling breed altogether. So, do you agree? Let me know in the comments which series you think is most exciting.